Hey guys, so welcome back to the vlog. Now that you've seen part one of this multi-part series, we actually today start working on this 2013 Mazdaspeed 3. So as you can see behind me, I've actually started doing a bit of work. So as you can see, I've removed the entire front end of the car, because looking at how this is actually done, I believe it's going to be easier for me to remove the engine by pulling it forward and towards myself here than actually going up or down. So I've removed the headlights that were here. I've removed the front bumper, the rebar that tied both ends together. I've removed a bunch of stuff here. This is actually all loose right now, and just about to remove all the radiator, condenser, and everything. I've disconnected the AC lines over here. Had a look at the actual spark plugs. As you can see, some of the coolant lines are out as well. So if we have a look at the spark plugs here, even though there's a massive hole in this block, the spark plugs themselves actually look pretty good. So I've also removed on this end here anything that was intake related, some of the piping that went across here. I've actually removed the battery box, the ECU, and a bunch of stuff that was down here as well, just to gain a bit more access. There also was an intercooler up here before, so that's also been removed. The Turbo Smart blow-off valve has been removed, so everything is pretty much exposed. There's a couple of things at the bottom here that still need to be disconnected, and I'm actually going to be able to pull all of this up and out of the way. So as you can see over here, I've laid out a lot of the front end parts of the car. So with anybody attempting to pull an engine for the first time, some of the things you're going to want to do is bag and tag. So as you can see, if you look at this, there's a bag with all the bolts that go with this, as well as the headlights here. There's a bag there. There's a bag for the front bumper. And we've got the battery box, the ECU, everything that has been removed up to this point. Everything, so intercooler is right there. So everything that goes with a bunch of bolts or something like that is all in the same area. So by doing things that way, you make sure that everything is nice and tidy, that you don't lose any bolts, and that you remember where everything goes when you have to reassemble it. So whenever you're doing an engine swap, there's always three systems within a car that you need to disconnect or remove before you can actually remove the engine. There is everything that is related to electrical, so wiring, all of the plugs that need to be unplugged or moved or unclipped from the actual car itself. There is everything that is mechanical, so you've got axles, you've got downpipes, you've got intakes, exhausts, a number of things that is connecting the engine mounts, things like that, that is connecting the engine to the actual frame of the car. So that needs to be removed. And then the third thing that needs to be removed is really everything that has to do with cooling, oiling, AC, or any of the other systems that are connected to the engine in that way. So always look at an engine swap from that sense. So what we're going to do now is we've removed a bunch of stuff around, but we haven't actually removed the wheels, the axles themselves. The downpipe is still fully connected. Most of the wiring is still on. So my goal here today is actually to remove this front part that is just over here that is loose, so I have a lot better access to all of this. So I've got a bunch of clips, a bunch of lines that are still hung in the back here, as well as some coolant lines that are going from the engine to the radiator. So I've still got to remove those, and then I can continue. So I'm stuck in this area here, and what I'm trying to do is remove this from the overflow bottle for the coolant, because what I'm trying to do, and I'm going to try and show you guys here, there's a number of lines at the bottom there, And in order to remove this whole big section here, those lines need to be disconnected and free. So let me just continue doing that. And finally, after a lot of work disconnecting all these hoses and clamps and things like that, this is finally free and can be removed. Still got a plug here. And there we go. So if we look at the back side a little bit better, there's a plug here that needs to be disconnected. There's a bunch of stuff at the top here. There is this plug over here. There are the AC lines. This plug, which is really fun. All of these hoses here. So one here and then one at the very top where the overflow is. I originally started removing these, but figured that if I just removed this little wire here from this harness, you could actually leave all of this here and you'd be fine. This goes on the front, and then this also goes on the front. I think one of them is for the outside temperature and the other one is probably for some, well, this one's for coolant temperature. I'm not sure exactly what the other one's for, but as you can see, and you can't really hold your hood up anymore because this is actually part of that section. All of this is part of it, so that is now removed, and once that's done, you have a lot of access to this engine. And just looking at the front here, I think we're gonna find some damage on the front of the engine as well. I can see a little piece of block there behind the starter that's just over here above the cooling. Yeah, I think we're gonna find, yeah, there we go. That block is vented at the front as well, so this is going to be a lot of fun to disconnect and have a look at this old engine and see how it broke. So I think for now this is going to be it. We're going to clean up all this mess here and we're going to start assembling this crane as our next step. And then once that's done, we're going to start looking at what else needs to be removed here and perhaps even start transferring some of the stuff to this new engine. Oh yeah, we got to clean it up too. So this is where we're going to end up today. Look for another episode pretty soon. If you like this type of content, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Again, my name is MisterET, and look for more content about this 2013 Mazdaspeed 3 very soon. Thanks.